Hello everybody, welcome back. Now, the lighting of this video is probably going to be fading as the video goes on, because I'm filming this in the late afternoon. Anyways, that doesn't reflect the atmosphere of the video, because we broke 1,000 subscribers! Thank you so much to every last one of you that's subscribed, and if you haven't already, go for it. 2,000 is the next milestone, guys. Let's reach it pretty soon. Anyways, let's get into today's video, because we've got some new models. Essentially, what happened was I rigged up a little test track in the late hours of Friday and tested it over Saturday. And then on Sunday, I took it to a toy fair. The toy fair was in Shepton Mallet in Somerset, I think it is. It might be Dorset. Don't know. Either way, Shepton Mallet. And there, they had loads of trains, and all the sellers were all over my track. They thought it was a great idea. And overall, my plan was to make it easier for me to buy model trains with confidence at shows, and the fact that I influenced some of the sellers to decide that they were going to make some of their own made me really happy, because haven't I? I've made it easier for me to buy trains. Okay, speaking of buying trains, let's get into my purchases. Let's go. Starting off with my second Autocoach. So for those who don't know, what exactly is an Autocoach? Okay, so essentially, the Great Western Railway decided that it would be more efficient than running engines round their trains at the end of lines to just make it so you can drive the train from either end. So as you can see, there's a big window in the end of this coach. The driver would go and stand at the end of the coach inside that big window, and he would be able to drive the train from there. And there would be a set of wires that would send commands to the engine, and the engine would respond. Like, let's say the driver moved the regulator to try and make the engine speed up in the Autocoach, then that command would be relayed back to the engine, and the engine in turn would speed up. It works in the same way with the brakes and that, and it was just a really clever system, very ahead of its time. The Great Western Railway decided that it wasn't worth engineering a really accurate system, so they made one that worked, but if you had more than sort of two coaches either side of the engine, then it wouldn't work very well and the commands would be sort of fuzzy. So crews, rather than having an engine and two coaches, liked to have a coach either side so that the commands were really clear. So here you can see, because I now have two, I can sandwich the engine in the middle to show off probably the most peculiar GWR practice that there is. So here's the small prairie then, and yes, I was looking for a pannier tank when I was shopping. I didn't ever find one. I think the best option is just going to be buying a Bachmann pannier at this point, but I will keep looking for a nice Hornby one. Anyways, let's have a look at the Autocoaches running. Okay, then I think that's going to be enough from the Autocoach. So now let's have a look at something else. It's Percy! Right, so as some of you will already have recognised, this is not Percy, but it is in fact an L&YR Pug. I picked this thing up for an amazing 12 quid. It's absolutely fantastic for that money, considering I nearly picked up a new Hornby one for £70. No comment. Anyways, look at this. It's just adorable. I literally no more to say. Right, okay, let's have a look at some of the detail on this then. Now, to me, it seems like they've focused on certain areas of the detail and made it really detailed in some places. Basically, a lot of the detail is moulded. I'm not saying it doesn't look good, but it is moulded, and it does actually. It looks fantastic. And the decals look okay. As you can see, that builder's plate looking very nice, as is the case with the British Railways logo. Perhaps the wrong font for those numbers. I may have to do a bit of Googling about that, see if this specific pug had different font. Anyways, as you can see, all the moulded detail under there looking lovely, as well as on the front of the smoke box, and those buffers I find quite interesting. I don't know if you can see them in this shot, but they're like blocks rather than proper buffers. If I roll it back a bit, you can probably see this one a bit better. Look at that! It's a really interesting shape, actually. I quite like it. Conrod's looking fairly basic, but then it is an old model, so I'm very happy with it for, like, sort of how old it is. And the fact that it literally cost me 12 quid. Yeah, it's stalling a little bit there. Up the top here, yeah, that's looking fine. I'm liking all of this moulded detail. I know that it is moulded, but it looks quite nice, I think. Those cab windows, they look very convincing. Yeah. Oh, there's a control in there. I thought, because this has such a small mechanism, and a lot of the cab space is taken up by machinery needed to make the engine run, then I thought that there wouldn't be any cab detail. But this shot seems to have revealed a handbrake of some sort. So yeah, that's lovely. Something I hadn't noticed before. So the pug then. Pretty all-round, fairly decent little shunter. I'm going to uncouple this wagon one sec, and then we'll give it a go at doing a crawl. Put the wagon there. Right. See what little pug can do. Ooh, we're still moving, folks. Wow. I think I can deem that a smoother... Whoop, stalled. I think, despite that little hiccup, I can deem this a better crawl than that of the Bachmann 7F. And that's saying something, because that was a 125 quid model. This is less than 10 times smaller than that price. Wow. What a lovely little model. Let's try him backwards. Still going. Oh. Go. I am really impressed by this. I know it keeps stalling, but to be fair, it does have 4 wheels and impeccably tiny ones at that. So yeah, really fantastic, I think. Get it coupled up to those wagons and send it on its way. Right, that's enough of the pug then. And now is time for what I think is my favourite of the bunch. It's this. It's a terrier. Here she comes then, folks. Our new terrier. She is number 662, and upon further research, I think she is Martello, and she is in London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, Marsh Umber. Now, this model, as well as the pug, is a dapple, and to be honest, I am extremely surprised at how detailed these are. While the pug was relatively undetailed, this thing absolutely blew me away when I first saw it. As you can see, there's plenty of detail on top of the side tanks. I think all of this is separately fitted, so that's really impressive. You can see there's the handrails, all nice and silver. Some moulded detail down by the smoke box, but that's excusable. If I roll her forward a bit, you might be able to see in detail her Westinghouse brake pump. You can see her lovely lining all over her, and her lovely number 662. Which, as I said, I think is Martello. And the best part about this is, it came in a box that was dedicated for Stepney. Now, I think the release of Stepney had some stuff in it that would make it able to be converted between the original version of Stepney and the preserved version. And that means that with it, I got a bunker. You can see that the bunker wiggles because it's fixed on with blue tack. I'm not going to fix it on permanently because I know I'll take it off as soon as I see that it's not accurate, but until I realise that, it looks very lovely. So yeah, as you can see, I've paired it with the Hornby four-wheelers because I think they just look lovely. They are 040 coach, no, they're four-wheel coaches, sorry, not an engine. Four-wheel coaches, which would go with this terrier. Okay, speaking of this terrier, let's get it running. Lovely, nice and smooth. I'm glad I got one of these. Been wanting one for a while now. Right, I think that's enough of the terrier, but before we say goodbye to her, I've got something else to show you. I've bought a Bachmann Toad Brake van. Now from this thing, I've discovered that the Triang ones were slightly off because they were built to fit on Triang Hornby's standardised four-wheel coach slash wagon slash, well, brake van chassis. And this one is a little bit more accurate in size and a little bit more accurate in features. It's based in Worcestershire sauce. There we go. And yeah, no more to say really. It's a lovely looking brake van. Anyways, let's get into the next purchase, which is not working properly. Okay, so here we have, as you can see, a Southern Railway schools class. My example is number 30939, Leatherhead. I think it's been renumbered because I can see a slight differentiation in the colour of the number and the great big gaping messily applied nameplate that you can see there. Anyways, it's a lovely looking logo otherwise, and it's nice to see that somebody has enjoyed this a lot because they've personalised it to be exactly what they want. Okay, so the reason this isn't working properly, and I didn't realise this until my handy car mechanic of a train enthusiast, Joe from Northern Transport Hub. Just to clarify, he's not actually a car mechanic, I'm just saying that because he's good at working out what's wrong with the train. Oh, this isn't on the tracks properly. He told me that my example, if I bring it forward a tiny bit, has something wrong with its gear. You can see that there's a silver gear in there. This tiddly one, if I get a screwdriver, it's this tiddly one right here. And this tiny one, as you can see, is not fixed properly to the little bar that runs into the motor in here. And what that means is that basically I'm going to apply the power, but I'm going to couple it to the Terrier so that it has to try and pull something. And remember, the Terrier has a whole train attached, so it won't be able to pull that with this defect. Okay, so I'm going to apply some power, and you can hear that the motor's spinning and it's trying to go. But if I lift it off of the track slightly for you, you can see that, yeah, it's spinning because there's no resistance against the wheels, and it can just spin. Now the problem lies in that this motor is not fixed to this gear. And I can feel that because this bit in the middle of this gear is still spinning. Right, the way I'm going to fix this is I am either going to put some modelling glue in there, or my local model shop is, and we're going to try and fix the gear to the thing, to the bar that goes into the motor. And once we've done that, because it has a ring-filled motor, it should have torque for days. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this loco is, instead of reviewing it in detail today, I'm going to fix that over the next few days and give it a video of its own. In the meantime, let's pop it back and have a look at the next item, which is in fact not something I got from the model fair, but it is a Christmas gift from my wonderful friend, the Northern Transport Hub, who I just mentioned. He is amazing because he saw that I had a rake of 3 four-wheelers and decided that I might like a 4th. This one that you're looking at just here used to be his. You can usually distinguish this one from the others because if I bring this here a bit, you can see that it's sort of quite yellowed compared to the other ones because it's sort of older. I love this, I really do, because personally I think you got to have at least 5 four-wheelers to make a fairly decent train. I'm building up to 5, but this is definitely a significant step in the process. So Joe, you are amazing, thank you so much. But that wasn't all that he got me. He also got me this little container here. I think all he saw was GWR on the side and he thought, yeah, he'll like that. And I do, look at it. It's a what's it called? Dry ice container, I think. It's got a warning on this door that says you need to wear gloves when you're going inside. It's probably clever to do that because obviously dry ice is, well, it's cold. So yeah, thank you so much, Joe. But believe it or not, that's not it. Let's see what else. He also got me this mail coach, which fits right in with the kite coaches. Now this actually came without some bogies, so I've stolen the ones off my LMS mail coach, which I'm sure he might be seeing at some point soon. Who knows? We'll have to see. But, and I kid you not folks, that is not all. At this point, what's stopping this legend? Right, so here we've got a LNER brake coach. Now, he decided to send this to me because he doesn't have any LNER stuff, but I've got, obviously, Tornado, Scotsman, a Deltic, that little J83. And I was absolutely overjoyed with this because I've been after a Gresley coach to put behind Scotsman for a while, but I've never had a proper opportunity to get one. Or even 3. I decided to complete my rake, having been prompted by Joe's lovely gift, and got 3 different coaches. Here we have Tornado in her lovely apple green, enjoying her new stock. Right. Now, fear not, folks, I'm not being ungrateful. I have prepared a counter-strike, if you will, in the form of the kit you see behind it. Now, he actually sent this to me with the hope that I would make it for him, and I agreed, and here it is. Don't worry, I know it's in the wrong green, it's due for a repaint. His gifts should be with him fairly soon, well, as soon as I can get that prairie tank done, really. But until then, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Please go and sub to Joe, because this man is a legend. Thank you so much, mate. This is all awesome. And keep an eye out for that schools class review. Oh, hello, Tornado. Because it should be out fairly soon, I imagine. As soon as I can get that cog glued, really. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, and thanks again for 1,000 subscribers, guys. You're all amazing. Bye bye.